Okay, hold on. Howdy, folks, and welcome back to the channel where we ask the question, what happened to Barney and Betty Hill? And so today, I'm joined here with my buddy BJ, and so we're going to be sitting here and chatting about the whole Zeta Reticuli incident. Now, BJ, how about you introduce yourself?
All right, so I'm BJ, and I'm going to kind of comment on the stuff, but give you all a little bit more info on it.
Now, I have the notes right here. Barney and Betty Hill were an interracial couple living in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Betty was a social worker, and Barney worked in the post office.
And they were all civil rights workers.
They were civil rights workers. On September 19th, 1961, when they were returning from a trip from Niagara Falls at approximately 10:30 p.m., driving in their 1957 Chevy Bel Air, Betty observed a star moving in the sky and appear to get larger. Betty told Barney to stop the car to get a closer look at a nearby picnic area, they saw a moving bright light.
I believe it could be an unidentified flying object.
Unidentified flying object?
Yes.
It clearly is pretty unidentified.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't know what it was. Do you think it's a plane?
Yeah, it might be a plane going
Might be
down.
a plane?
Going down.
I don't know.
It's getting closer.
Maybe it isn't a plane.
Maybe.
Betty told Barney to stop the car to get a closer look at it. At a nearby picnic area, they saw a moving bright light. Barney thought it was an airplane, but was disproven when it changed direction and came closer.
Yeah, it is it like a circle object?
Like a circle?
Like a pie plate?
Betty describes it as an oddly shaped craft. So it isn't anything like a plane.
Yeah, I mean it can't always be a UFO.
A UFO?
Which is means the same thing as unidentified flying object.
Probably.
Maybe it's another air balloon. We don't talk about it.
Do air balloons have lights on them? And do they change direction?
Some of them, yes. Weather balloons do have some lights on them.
I haven't heard of a weather balloon that can so easily change direction like it does, like this.
We never know.
And we get a little more into depth of what this craft actually is later on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The odd-shaped craft descended lower and lower. Barney stopped the car and got out. A huge silent craft approached about 50 feet in front of Barney. He described it as a large pancake with red lights.
Yeah, I can't wait to eat breakfast.
Can't wait to eat breakfast?
Bro got a little hungry. It's not a large pancake.
Pancake.
When was this?
Yeah, it was at 10:30 p.m.
Bro was craving bacon, eggs, and pancakes.
Yeah.
They're going to Denny's right after.
Going to Denny's. Barney was using his binoculars to look into the craft, and then when he did that, he saw 8 to 11 humanoid figures that were watching him from outside of these windows.
Could they be escaped nursing home people?
Nursing home people?
They ran into the pancakes. They ran into the pancake aircraft, and they started flying. And then they went into the forest. They wandered off into the forest, like all nursing home people do at some point.
I don't know what you mean, but
escaped old lady from nursing home.
And then so all but one figure had moved from the window, while one remained. So all of the figures, all but one, they moved away from the window, but one of them communicated to him that to stay where you are.
Easy.
Stay where you are and keep looking.
Speaking autism language.
No, you can't say that on here.
I know.
So
speaking the alien language.
I never saw how the creature was communicating. Maybe it was through intercom or
I'd like to talk
what's it called?
To you.
Telepathy? Yeah.
Telepathy. In first grade, I never learned how to spell city. But I did. I always thought it was kitty.
Kitty. Spelled it with a K?
I didn't notice the difference, and I was like, wait, sit. I thought city was like City.
Yeah.
City.
Now, a long structure descended from the craft in front of Barney, about 20 to 30 feet in front of him.
20 to 30 feet, dang.
Uh
That's more than a yard.
huh. More than a yard. Yeah, it is more than a yard.
It's more than this yard.
After that, they returned 35 miles down the U.S. Route 3, the road that they were driving on, and had no recollection of the past 2 hours.
Seems to be like a lot of appearances in that exact. It's just specifically highways. Westwood highways.
You got to get closer to the microphone for them to hear you. Like scoot
What
your chair.
what's with this highway and what's with the highway and aliens? Why do they want to be on the highway so bad?
I don't know. I mean, what's another time you've heard of like aliens being on the highway?
Like every other appearance.
Not every other appearance.
I seen some aliens on close to my way up here. I seen some aliens, and I wouldn't call it aliens. Maybe it was just another spy balloon. Maybe
you think so? We've already said that this is a physical object, a physical craft in the air that's been. Barney saw it from 50 feet below it. 50 feet below it. That's like right up there, like close, really close. That's like what, 3 LeBron Jameses?
3 LeBron Jameses.
And so,
oh wowzers! I've never seen that before. 3 LeBron James.
And so we already know this is not a weather balloon. This is not a weather balloon. Not only were there like these creatures, the humanoid creatures, in it, but it's not a weather balloon. And it changed directions. It has lights on it. So it's not that.
Maybe it's that little space shuttle at the fair. A flying Ferris wheel. It was going that fast.
It was going that fast.
Okay. Whoa! What if this was just like what if this was just some dream that they had? He was already dead, but not dead. Like he had this dream, but he was already dead in his dream. And he's just seeing stuff in his dream. Nobody dreams about this. That's crazy.
But he's alive.
Yeah, he's alive, but he was dead in the dream. Well, he had the dream. Like, he didn't die in his dream, but he was dead in his dream. Whoa, I woke up back in my house.
What? What?
Why am I naked?
Barney died in about like 1960 something. About a few years after this happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The CIA assassinated him.
All right, kid. Now,
the CIA is watching right now.
Okay, so once they returned home, they arrived. Now, the drive would have taken. So the drive from Coldbrook would have taken about 4 hours. So it was like 178 miles.
What?
Yeah, it was a 4-hour drive.
It doesn't take that long to go 178 miles on a highway.
It wasn't on a highway. It was on a route.
Ooh.
Routes are different than highways.
Yeah.
So they arrived 7 hours after they left Coldbrook. Remember, it should have taken 4 hours. They arrived 7 hours after, and they couldn't remember what happened in that 2-hour window. Us UFOologists call it missing time.
Missing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were like found, but they were recollected. Like in that 2 hours, it was like a time warp, and they couldn't remember it, so they were testing them.
I don't know. Probably.
Maybe. They got probed again.
I guess that's what happened.
Maybe.
And then
it's not only my first time.
So once they got home, Barney realized that the leather strap on his binoculars were broken. It was broken. His best dress shoes were like chipped and broken. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Never mind, it was nothing. So here are
Maybe it's the CIA bugging into your phone.
Hey.
We know too much.
We know too much.
We know too much. We're smart. We're smart.
We're too out there, man. we're onto them.
Look, a plane just flew over.
Oh, that's them.
They bugged into your phone. They dropped a little chip into your phone.
They dropped a chip in my phone.
Their aim is that good. Trick shot. Trick shot. Boom.
Threw in my pocket.
Through your pocket. Oh. It had a little needle in it. Threw a little crack into your phone.
Yeah. And then so when they returned home, Barney's leather strap was broken. And on his binoculars, the leather strap was broken. His best dress shoes were like
tattered and
were broken. Not broken, but like they were torn.
Yeah, tattered.
Yeah.
Yo, why are there so many planes flying over us?
I don't know.
It's the CIA again.
Betty's dress was torn in multiple places and also stained.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen?
We don't know. And so after another thing, Barney, so they started having these weird senses. These weird, what are they called? You know, when like an animal instincts. That's what they are. They started having these weird instincts that the luggage be kept in the backyard, that they turned their watches off and never turned them on again. And then so after they took showers and then went to sleep, had some good sleep, woke up later. Betty, so before, Betty had hung her dress into her closet, and then when they woke up, Betty found that her dress that she wore that night had like this strange purplish like powder on it. It was like a pink powder. Strange. And so she let it out for the powder to dry off. And then over the years since then, the dress has been like conducted many, many lab tests on it. Mm-hmm. What they found, they never told me. I mean, like, I can find. So probably they're hiding what they found on that dress because...
One thing, don't ever test that. Just send in a DNA test.
But they had like... There's been multiple lab tests done on the dress, and they seemingly found nothing.
You can't trust them.
You can't trust them at all.
They may help you with sickness, but they're not really good at keeping... They're good at keeping secrets.
They are good at keeping secrets.
They don't share stuff.
I have a whole Big Pharma video, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. I might do a Big Pharma.
Maybe.
But,
I don't know.
You know, because maybe, you know, in our medication, there could be, like, different side effects. Suppressed side effects that they don't tell us.
Yeah, they hide a lot of stuff, obviously.
Like, what I, you know. And then... After some more inspection, they found that the trunk of their car had these shiny spots on it, and if you held a magnet near the spots, not the car, near the spots on the trunk. I mean, not a magnet. If you held a compass near the spots on the car, not the car, but the spots on it. Only if you were close to the spots. The compass would just start going way far out. Just start like the what's it called? The needle would just start spinning in all directions.
It is. Compasses are mostly controlled by magnetic fields.
Magnetic fields. So if it was just the magnet part of the needle, then the needle would be pointing towards wherever the what's it called? Will be pointing towards the spots.
Have you ever done a magnet test before?
A magnet test? Like what?
You stick a magnet under a compass and it starts spinning really strong.
Yeah.
It spins in one direction though. It's focused on one direction. But if you put the opposite side of the magnet, it just stops completely. It doesn't move at all.
Mm-hmm. But what we're talking about here is that the compass was inches from the spots and it would just go haywire. Yeah. The needle would just start spinning rapidly. It wouldn't be pointing in a single direction. It would just be spinning around.
Depending on the direction, it might have to do with the test, but I wouldn't say it.
Yeah.
Cars don't really have magnets in them.
Not back then. No, not back then. I don't know if cars are like metallic. I mean, are magnetic now. Probably are.
Some of them do have magnetic speakers. Like, there's magnets in the speakers, but
Yeah.
I don't think those cars really had speakers.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were just drive.
So 10 days after the encounter, Betty started having these strange dreams. Right? She had dreams for 5 successive nights. 5 nights in a row. After those 5 nights, the dreams stop. Right? These strange dreams, where now Betty, she would tell Barney, "Hey, I've been having these dreams. These are pretty odd," but Barney would kind of just brush it off, so she never really talked about it. So we kind of don't know what those dreams are, except for one of her dreams. One dream she actually wrote down.
There's this theory that they tested 100 people. None of them remembered their dreams except 2 lied, and they tested them on a lie test. Out of 100 people, they put 100 people in a room. They all slept in this big old room. There was 100 beds. 2 said they remembered it. They asked about it, and they said, I don't know what happened in the dream. So they don't remember the dreams. None of them remembered the dreams at all.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Hmm.
It's a test that you can't remember your dreams, so you make up stuff.
Okay. So what you're saying is possibly,
She wasn't able to dream at all.
is that possibly the, you just don't remember any of your dreams?
Yeah, you don't remember any of your dreams.
How come when you wake up from a dream and you remember it?
You wake up, but your brain, it's your brain making up stuff that you say you think you saw, but you don't remember first half of what anything happens.
Really?
Whenever you wake up, truly nobody remembers their dreams.
Okay. So, let's see. Now, in Betty's dream, it was that she remembered walking in the forest with these 2 little men. And get this, the men were gray. Their
Josiah?
skin
Size of Josiah.
No. So, their skin was gray, right? And it's actually really interesting that these men were about 4, let me see. They were like 3.5 feet tall, right? These teeny little men. They were wearing these matching blue suits with these like blue caps, right?
Yeah.
They didn't really look like policemen, but they had these blue like suits, and they were just they were matching.
Blue Man Group.
Mm-hmm. Blue Man Group.
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw them in. I didn't see them, but like they were performing in Vegas when I went there to Vegas.
Yeah,
But,
I seen them live.
You've seen them live? When?
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago. They were so goofy.
Yeah.
They were just ripping random things out of the space. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't even own all that stuff. They just ripped them randomly out and they started playing music.
Yeah,
they're kind of goofy.
There's some pretty goofy guys. I like them. And then
No talking at all. They haven't talked.
Yeah, I don't even know what any of them sound like.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Mm-hmm. But so in Betty's dream, so it's actually really interesting that their skin was gray, and since this is connected to like an alien incident, because some of you guys watching may know that like gray aliens are actually a really interesting topic.
A lot of people imagine aliens as green or blue.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people picture, in science fiction and stuff, aliens are mostly like green and blue and goofy stuff like that. But in pretty much all, like alien encounters, the aliens have been gray.
They've been like pastel type of colors, like very deep, but not deep, like deep light.
Like, what are you talking about?
Like the colors, you see how my khakis are like.
No, like what are you
brown?
talking about? As in like what aliens?
Like aliens, all stories have all fake stories or depictions of them.
Like fictional?
Yeah, fictional, and they've all been like green, like very deep green.
Yeah, science
But-
fiction. In science fiction, the aliens are almost always green. They're always green or like blue. That's what we just covered. But in almost maybe every, um, like
I've noticed
actual
this in a
real
lot of animation.
alien, in almost every like actual alien encounter that's happened, they've been gray.
I feel like it's impossible for anything to show up as green other than birds.
Okay, but
Maybe.
so like I talked about remember guys in our Dogon tribe video when I don't know if I can remember correctly, but the alien species that was created by what were they, the Nomos?
Yeah.
They had gray skin. They were grays. You know?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A lot of
then-
alien depictions show them,
Actually,
like National Geographic, they show them as gray.
mhm.
But fictional animated TV, they show them as green
Yeah,
or
science
blue.
fiction, movies,
Yeah, everything.
stuff like that. But actually, the gray aliens conspiracy, like the connections of aliens just being gray, is actually something I'm gonna make a whole video about it because that's just its own little can of spam,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's something we're going to open up later.
Yeah. So
If we could fit all that in one video, that'd be...
it'd be that video has got to be like 30 minutes long.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what do we mean? So their skin was gray. These little men that she was walking with in the forest, and now you may be thinking, like, was Barney in the dream? Barney was in the dream. However, Betty turns behind and looks behind and sees Barney also walking in the forest, but he was like in this deep trance state.
Yeah, like unescapable darkness, but he's there still, but not
He's
full
not
function.
He's there, but he's far out, man.
He's like a fish in an ocean that's millions of miles long.
Yeah. He's like a planet
It's just like kind of empty.
in a whole nother solar system.
Empty darkness.
Yeah. So he's there, but he isn't there.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the dream. The one dream. We don't know what any of the other dreams were because Barney just kind of didn't care about it. Right?
Yeah, whatever.
So after the 5 successive days of the dream, of having the dreams, they just stopped. 5 days in a row, Betty had these dreams about the alien encounter, and then after those 5 days, they simply stopped. So after the events, the Hills seeked help in order to try to remember that missing time, those 2 hours that they didn't remember after observing the spacecraft.
Anything could have happened in those 2 hours.
Anything could have happened.
We don't know.
We'll
We'll never
we do
know.
We do know.
We can't.
But we don't know all of it. We don't know the full story.
Not everything.
So they decided to seek hypnosis therapy. And after going to many hypnosis sessions in order to recall the events of the alien encounter, this is what Barney had to say. So what Barney was able to recall, what he was able to remember from what happened in those missing 2 hours of that night, was that the reason his leather strap had broken was because he turned around and ran away from the craft.
Martians or whatever.
Or the Martians or whatever, the goofy stuff.
Them goofy goobers.
He turned around and ran away from the craft, and that's why his leather strap broke. He got into the car and started driving, like, away from it.
Yeah.
However, while he was driving away from the craft, he had this unexplainable urge to swerve into the woods and start driving down a dirt road.
I gotta drive down that dirt road.
Yeah, that's how it was.
I'm real urgent.
And then, as he was driving down in the forest, he saw to the right of him like these six humanoid beings, right? These six humanoid beings, and they were all just chilling around in this little forest, right? In this forest. Three of them came up to his car, and one of the we're gonna call them, what are we gonna call them?
Martians.
Martians. All right, we'll call them Martians. One of the Martians had got, you know,
Or figures.
figures. Yeah, we'll call them figures. So one of the figures, okay, three of the figures got close to the car. One of them, the leader, had come up to Barney and told him, "Hey, man, don't be afraid. Like, don't be scared. All right, calm down." And so Barney said that the figures, they spoke in English, but I think Betty recalled that like they spoke in a strange mumbling sound, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's an interesting part of it. And then, so after the figures spoke to Barney, they kind of they told him to close his eyes. You know, they told him to close his eyes. Barney closes his eyes, and then he starts like getting into this strange state, right? Hold on.
I think I might have a theory on this. Right now. Now what I'm hearing from this.
Uh,
Those 2 hours, he like anywhere before? Where was he before?
before the 2 hours, they were in the they were driving on their way from Montreal, Canada. They they were on a trip from Niagara Falls.
Yeah, I think I have a theory on this. Maybe Betty and Barney were both intoxicated, and Barney told somebody something, or Betty, whichever one. It could have been either of them.
Barney, what? Oh, yeah, or either of them, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, look, there's a little object in the sky, probably just a plane, or it could be like everybody knows how there's like little smoke trails coming from planes. Yeah,
But the plane, it moved direction, so it couldn't have been a plane. It moved,
or
it
a
turns.
helicopter.
Or a helicopter. A helicopter
maybe
isn't
there's
as
some
fast. A helicopter isn't as fast as what Betty described it as.
Now, on that theory, it could be like those 2 hours, they were like just blackout and they couldn't remember anything. They crashed into the woods. He walks home, still intoxicated, barely remembers anything.
But they didn't walk home.
Yeah, they didn't walk.
They drove.
Yeah, they drove. How did they drive?
Also, if you're severely intoxicated to the point where you hallucinate an entire spacecraft 50 feet in front of you, if you're intoxicated to that point, how would you be able to drive 3 whole hours from Canada to Portsmouth, New Jersey?
Again, it could have been either drug influence or marijuana. And it does have a tendency of doing things to you and you see things. But it's not common. It's not common that it gets to this point.
So, if that happened, if it was drug induced, they didn't really do drugs.
Maybe.
They were perfectly, what's the word? Uninfluenced at the moment.
Maybe they waited 5 days for it to wear off. Yeah, I was just dreaming for that time. See what happened.
But yeah, and then, so, are you saying that they made up the story?
I'm not saying that. Maybe they weren't making it up. They were just making it up from what they saw.
I mean,
what they thought they saw.
It's pretty hard to just what? So, especially when it was that, what's the word? I'm trying to think. Excuse me. It was the fact that it was that consistent with what it was, were like they saw this light. But also, I just came up with what disproves that entire theory. How come they both? So if they were drugged, right? How come they both saw the exact same thing, exactly how it happened?
I mean, they could have told each other, like, you see that, and they make that up what they think they're seeing.
But
Look,
they both.
look, a plane.
Yeah.
No, it looks like a circle. Oh, no. It's not a circle. It's not a circle.
They both. So what you're saying is that they both were like highly high, and so they saw the so say Barney saw this light in the sky,
Yeah, we're driving. Yeah, there's a little
and then
light
so
or
all of a
star.
sudden Betty is influenced by Barney and is like, oh yeah, I see a light. How come they both were able to describe exactly what the craft looked like?
Maybe he described what he saw. And he's like, oh yeah, I see it. Or they're seeing the same exact moving object. Things are moving fast. They're seeing stuff, and they see the object. And he's like,
Nothing
oh yeah, maybe.
nothing's moving fast. They're driving late at night on an open road. hmm
Maybe I am
So
disproving. That is just a theory.
there's no way that they could have been just so high that they have this consistent uh, consistent hallucination that they both share completely accurately.
But Barney didn't really have these dreams.
Barney didn't have the dreams. He didn't care about them.
Maybe
But
he
Betty did
didn't
have the
care.
dreams.
Betty did. Maybe Betty was the one making up the stuff, or what he thinks he saw.
However, Barney was the one that like described it all.
Yeah.
Even though Betty had the dreams, Barney was the one. He even drew the picture that you see on screen right now. He drew the picture of the spacecraft, and he's the one that described it.
Yeah.
So that disproves your theory.
Yeah, maybe I am wrong.
And and so back to Barney's recollection of the night, right? Barney says that he's like, oh, that he closes his eyes, and then these men, I mean these figures, they start staring at him terrifyingly, right? They just start staring at him, and then he closes his eyes, and see, I'm gonna tell you. And so while under hypnosis, right? You know, when you're under hypnosis, you're laid back and you're saying the stuff from your memory, just with this like subconsciously.
Yeah.
Barney was saying that he saw like a pair of eyes that wasn't connected to a body. Just this floating pair of eyes that pressed into his eyes, and that's all he said.
Yeah.
Didn't go any deeper than that. And so against us. And then still doesn't explain why his shoe still doesn't explain his scraped shoe. Maybe that's just what his subconscious mind was able to remember, because my theory, what happened was that after the whole eye pressing incident, after the whole eye pressing event, then the aliens did whatever little tests and things like that, and showed them stuff, and then like did these little tests, and then just like getting biological data and things like that, learning about the humans by having a human with them. And so after that, they wiped their mind of any memory and just dropped them back 35 miles down the route.
How much is left of this?
I don't know, a little bit.
We might have to wrap it up, because this is.
So what do you think about that?
I think that it disproves my theory, but I feel like they could have been the same thing, but depictive, like different depictive style. Like they,
Okay.
if they were both alive right now and you
So
asked both of them, they might have thought a two different depictive
so
styles,
we're
and that would have
past
disproved it.
we're past the
Yeah,
hallucination theory that I disproved.
yeah, I know.
hmm What we're on now is my theory of what happened. That that also because Betty's dress was torn. Remember, Betty had a torn dress. Her hypnosis didn't explain that. Why she had a torn dress and why did it have pink powder all over it? Why would you, if you're just in the woods and you get lost in the woods, and if you're like back to your theory, another disprovement of your theory that they were that they were high or whatever and they were hallucinating. How does your dress tear and how do you get pink mysterious chemical powder on you that hasn't even been explained supposedly by these labs that are hiding this information from us?
What if they crop dusted the dress and it didn't actually happen? The government stopped them, and they crop dusted the dress. They crop dusted them with glitter to cover the entrance.
Why is the dress gonna do that?
I don't know.
Then see.
Hey, they know what they're doing.
Amateur stuff.
Skill issue.
What I'm saying is that the hypnosis did not cover almost anything at all. It just all it did was explain the broken leather strap, and that's it.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, they couldn't even take in a whole 2 hours just to swerve into the forest and meet these three men and have these eyes push into your head.
Yeah.
That's not 2 hours. So what I'm saying, what my theory is that
they're finding us.
Oh, they're on their way.
There's just planes everywhere. There's like 5 planes. 1, 2, 3,
2. You saw that
4,
one pass overhead.
Yeah, 5,
Dude,
6,
the
7.
It's the chemtrails.
I know.
You see the chemicals.
They're finding us.
The white lines. They're trying to dumb us down.
And it's in a DNA trail.
Exactly.
DNA style trail.
You see it? It's twisting.
They're gonna find us.
Oh, they already found us.
I don't know if I would qualify this as like a podcast, or maybe we could.
It's kind of a groovy sesh, you know?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that like the what was it? They were abducted into the ship after Barney closed his eyes. They were abducted into the ship and then, taken into the ship, inspected, memories wiped.
Alien doctor here.
Alien doctor. Memories wiped, and then they were dropped off 35 miles down the route.
No place for alien business.
No place for alien business. All right. And so
they really weren't messing around with it.
They were not messing around.
They were like, wipe this man's brain. We got to do some tests on him. Maybe the aliens have changed over time. Like, maybe they're developing so different so we won't notice.
Yeah, possibly.
There's a possibility. For sure.
Possibility. And then, so, with the fact that... Okay, so, after that, the Hills, they talked about the incident, among their friends and among their close family and people like that, and among the occasional UFO investigator. But after that, they never seeked any publicity. They never seeked any fame.
They never made a story until like just a little bit later.
Yeah,
they waited till they died.
Not that they waited until they died. They did get like international fame from it, but they didn't want that.
Maybe like they were trying to hide it because it can be disproved multiple. This story can be disproved multiple ways by just be flat out a lie, but it's not.
No.
I don't think so. The fact that this story has lasted for so long, I don't think so.
And the thing is, why would they lie? Like, give me a reason why they would lie.
I don't know.
Because it can't be. It can't be because they wanted to become popular and become like famous for notoriety. Because that's not what they wanted.
Maybe they took some inspiration from their grandpa, who told them that the deer stole the tractor and beat them up.
They only talked about the incident with their friends and with the the investigators that would come by, and that's all they wanted to do. And so, I forgot. I didn't write this down, but Barney died about 15 20 years later, and then Betty died in like 2006, 9, 4, 2004 or something, I think.
When was the story made?
This it was happened on September 19th, 1961.
1961. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
They must be like reaching 100.
They're not reaching 100. It's gonna be like another, I don't know,
I don't know what's
40
happened.
years
I don't know what's
before
happened.
it's like 2060. You know?
Yeah. Between human development, I feel like it's just like went downwards. Like lifespans have gotten shorter.
And then
Like-
the thing is,
A long time ago, people used to live like 100, 200 years almost. I think it's just like something in
you have low
the
battery.
food or diet.
And so what we were saying earlier is that there's no reason that they would like make this up. It couldn't have been made up. No, maybe no one else saw it. They were the only ones who saw it. But I'm saying that this 100% is a disproven alien encounter.
Why doesn't anybody like follow the UFOs other than the fake TV show people who try to make it out to be real? But
They don't follow the UFOs. Well, they can't. I mean, they
kind
were
of can.
tested on, and memories were wiped and dropped off.
I'm just saying, like, why don't more people just chase UFOs?
Like, if you see a UFO, you're just gonna chase it.
Speed up the car. There's a UFO.
No. That's what they tried to do. They tried driving closer and closer to it until they straight up encountered it, until it was straight up right there, and then memory wiped.
Whoa.
2 hours later, arrived 7 hours after leaving Montreal. You know?
They just drive. No brain at all, just drive. Let's put this chip in your head, and I want you to drive straight forward until you reach home.
What a bunch
They put the GPS chip.
bunch of malarkey.
What in the malarkey is this?
And so that's what happened. That's the Barney and Betty Hill incident. That's the Zeta Reticuli incident.
Yeah.
So whether if they really saw aliens that day, which
Or they didn't.
they probably did.
Lying has advanced since then, and I don't think they lie like that. Why would you lie for publicity? Or they lied about the publicity to make it seem like it's real. Or it's just a little theory.
They didn't want publicity or
I know.
notoriety or anything like that. So there's
Unless
no
they lied
reason
about
to come up with the story.
I know.
Mm-hmm. And so
But some people are goofy like that.
So hope you enjoyed the video, and if you didn't, leave a hate comment down below. And I'll see you. I think I'll see you in the next time.
Maybe.
And then we'll see when BJ shows up.
Unless
all right?
I'm part of the CIA and I
do
something.
If you guys want to see more of BJ in the future, this guy's a pretty rad guy.
Yeah.
Then let us know in the comments. And well, that's about what we have for today. say your byes.
Bye.
Bye, folks.
Howdy.